For centuries, we have operated under a core biological assumption. The human brain, tucked safely inside the skull, is the undisputed seat of consciousness. But this intricate neural network is not the source of your conscious awareness. Instead, it is merely acting as a receiver. The true functional center of your higher consciousness is actually the heart. It possesses the strongest magnetic field of any organ in the human body. Surprisingly, it also contains more individual neurons than the brain itself, though they are wired to intimately regulate the body rather than form complex thought networks. The heart generates what physicists call whole-body coherence. Acting as a biological antenna, the heart pulls raw, uncommitted potential from the A field. The A field is a four-dimensional extension of space that projects point by point into a higher dimension. Through this discrete spatial connection, the heart transmits that raw potential down to the individual cells throughout your body. Your core identity exists as a continuous, four-dimensional magnetic field. It is a structure anchored by the physical rhythm of your beating heart, persisting even when the brain's sensory input is silenced. Over the past 300,000 years, Homo sapiens have relentlessly accumulated data about our three-dimensional material existence. We have filled our biological memory banks to their absolute maximum capacity. The intense, global mental chaos we see today is a direct physical symptom of this informational overload. The human hardware is visibly straining under the weight of too much data. This pressure triggers a mechanism known as top-down evolution. The collective weight of our accumulated conscious knowledge acts through epigenetics, the process by which environmental and behavioral factors directly modify how individual genomes are expressed to force a massive biological mutation. The mental overload of modern humanity serves as the brutal, mechanical trigger required to initiate a biological leap into an entirely new human species. This incoming species is termed Homo paradoxus. These humans will be born with hereditarily pre-wired neural networks capable of directly experiencing and modeling the fourth dimension of space. Nature's process of refining new neural configurations often involves high-stakes experimentation. This model suggests that the rising prevalence of atypical neurological conditions, like spectrum disorders and autism, represents a messy trial-and-error phase where the species' wiring is being pushed for greater efficiency in preparation for the leap. Moving past standard three-dimensional perception requires extreme physiological upgrades. The brain's internal hardware must be completely rebuilt to rapidly process a vast incoming flood of multidimensional sensory input. Because of these new networks, spiritual enlightenment will no longer be a rare, mystical achievement reached through decades of meditation. It will operate as a baseline biological function of the Homo paradoxus brain from the exact moment of birth. This maps the evolving brain's architecture. Headless neurons in the white matter core process multidimensional data instantly. Branching dendrites transmit memories outward to a massive cap-like neuron storing the new worldview. Broca's area adapts, fully transforming the brain into a four-dimensional sensory organ. A living human is a composite of multiple fields, a three-dimensional body of matter and electricity, and a four-dimensional A field of magnetic potential. At the moment of death, those three-dimensional structures, the matter, electric signals, and local magnetic fields, destabilize and collapse, shedding the lower dimensional shell of the self. However, the four-dimensional A field cannot decay. Because this holographic blueprint of a person's higher consciousness is a permanently stabilized structure, supported by the continuity of the universe itself, it survives biological death completely intact. Under extreme circumstances, this physics leaves a visible mark. When humans experience intense anxiety, fear, and massive bursts of mental energy, immediately prior to a violent death, they can permanently imprint an A-field shadow directly into the physical rocks and soil of their environment. The residual apparitions often reported at historic battlefields are not actual conscious afterlife spirits. They are merely excess A-field pattern recordings left behind like a tape on an endless loop. Conscious visitations, residual hauntings, and the survival of the spirit are entirely physical phenomena. They are predictable, mechanical outcomes of A-field vector mechanics and multidimensional biology. The quality of your A-field's transition into the afterlife depends entirely on the specific emotional state and belief system you hold at the exact moment of physical death. Dying with love in your heart easily opens your sensory input to the broader cosmos, allowing an immediate transition into the higher dimension. Dying with deep hate, or a strict denial that the afterlife is possible, physically blocks four-dimensional input. This traps the new spirit in a dark void, or locks it into an endlessly looping past life review. The universe exists as a system that learns about itself through the experiences of sentient life. Because our individual consciousness is added to this collective cosmic knowledge upon death, expanding that awareness through the pursuit of true knowledge and compassion becomes a functional necessity, a moral obligation to the very system that sustains us. Elevating our consciousness is the only physical way to navigate the impending global chaos. By doing so, we directly aid the biological birth of Homo paradoxicus and secure our eternal place within the grand cosmic consciousness of the universe.